Muy buenas chicos y chicas, bienvenidos al canal, soy Rosita Noob y hoy os traigo un juego que es una novela gráfica, visual, de terror, ya que no he traído nada por Halloween, pues quería traeros este pequeño juego. Es Ley de Princess. ¿De qué trata? Pues trata de que ella va a intentar persuadirte lo máximo posible para que nunca la mates y ella acabará matándote. Cuando te persuada y tú decidas que no la vas a matar, ella te matará una y otra vez sin parar hasta que tú pues le des muerte a la princesa. Dentro vídeo. Anteriormente en Slay the Princess nos quedamos que habíamos desbloqueado como dos versiones de la princesa. Uno era como, digamos, una princesa como con muchísimas manos y otro era la princesa que era totalmente hojas de espada. Era un cúmulo de espada en la princesa. Así que a ver qué sucede ahora con las decisiones que vayamos tomando. Bueno, continuemos.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin...
Vale, una cosa. Vale, justamente guardamos aquí, perfecto, sí, perfecto. Vale. ¿El fin del mundo de qué hablas? ¿Has pensado que igual solo quiere acabar con el mundo porque está encerrada en un sótano? Pero matar a una princesa es un poco horrible, ¿no? ¿No puede hacerlo otro? Olvídate, no pienso hacerlo. ¿No has considerado que igual me parece bien que se acabe el mundo? Si lo hago, ¿recibiré algún tipo de recompensa? Vale, todas estas preguntas que salen, que tenemos que decirlas si queremos o no, ya la hemos visto anteriormente, entonces es cuestión de escoger una, sin más. Para que el narrador pues nos siga diciendo exactamente lo mismo de antes. Así que le vamos a decir esto.
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people.
Vale, no muere people. Vale, si no me dices por qué es tan peligrosa, no pienso matarla. ¿Tienes alguna prueba que respalde tu teoría? ¿Has pensado que igual vale? Todo esto ya lo habíamos hecho antes.
Are you serious? No, you have to do it.
Vale, tengo que hacerlo porque él lo dice. Vale, me has convencido, acabemos con este asunto. Le voy a decir, bueno, vale, iré a la cabaña.
Good. As long as you remain focused on your goal, it should all be smooth sailing.
Vale, Idris, no te preocupes.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
Vale.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Vale.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Vamos a la cabaña. Vale, lo que hicimos la última vez estando en la cabaña, recuerdo que fue... Ostras,
The interior of the cabin is almost
matamos a la
entirely
princesa,
bare. The air
fuimos
is
a coger el
stale and
puñal
musty, and the floor
y
and
nos
walls
atravesó
are
ella con
painted in a
su...
fine layer of dust.
Con
The
su
only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Con su espada, vamos, pongo.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Vale, pues cogemos la hoja.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Vale. Todo sigue siendo
The door to the
igual.
basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Vale, voy a hacer una cosa. Voy a bajar un poco el volumen de las voces, ¿vale? Vamos más o menos, vamos a bajarla aquí. Vale.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
¿Quién anda
She
ahí?
sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
Pues lógico, tengo que matarte, señora. Sí, no era broma.
I know. You brought a knife with you and everything. But you don't have to try and kill me. You could always toss that scrap of metal to the ground and give the two of us a chance to talk things
Vale,
out.
quiere hablar.
She makes a compelling point. What if we didn't kill her? What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Vale, la última vez la soltamos y estuvimos hablando con ella. Entonces esta vez le voy a dar que sujetemos la espada con mucha fuerza.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
Vamos, debería tener miedo.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
¿Y si no es un farol? ¿Y si nos mata? Lo siento, podemos hablar. No pienso soltar la hoja, dar princesa a la muerte. Dar princesa a la muerte. Dar muerte a la princesa. Dios santo, la iglesia va a acabar un día conmigo.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Bueno, tampoco quiero hablar. Bueno, vale, supongo que hemos llegado a un punto muerto. Mirar a la princesa con los ojos entornados mientras sujetan la hoja, soltar la hoja, dar muerte a la princesa.
You stare at the princess, squinting. She squints back.
The two of you are gonna do this forever, aren't you?
Obvio. Seguro que no quiere hablar.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Seguro.
For goodness sake, the two of you can't just stand around like this forever. Eventually, something is going to give, and I highly recommend that you be the one to take the initiative here. Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to
Bien,
your
bien.
jaw.
Esto no había pasado, ¿eh?
It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurts! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Rendirte, completar la tarea, huir y encerrarla en el sótano no se puede seleccionar.
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job.
Ostras.
The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade
Vale,
deep
vale.
into the princess's heart.
Todo esto era nuevo, perfecto.
Oh. This was fun.
This was fun,
The
dice.
princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
Pues no, no creo.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Y he muerto de nuevo. Perfecto. A ver qué nos depara ahora. Capítulo 2. La adversaria.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
Vale, esto lo hemos visto antes.
And in the basement
Ah,
of
no,
that
no, deja
cabin
pasar. Perfecto, eso
is a
quiere decir algo bueno.
princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Creo que estoy teniendo un déjà vu o momento. Esto no había pasado ya. Vale, no, pero si yo había muerto, ¿qué hago aquí? Me va a volver a matar. Pero si ya había dado muerte a la princesa, bueno, ella me mató a mí también. Pero estoy seguro de que no vivió para contarlo. ¿Por qué estoy aquí otra vez?
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time.
Te digo que no.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me.
Claro.
That's fine. It
El
doesn't matter if
testarudo.
he can hear us. The only thing that matters is
Y
marching up
ganemos.
to that cabin and winning. That's the spirit. There's no point in squabbling when the real threat is just up that hill.
Supongamos que por un momento estoy diciendo la verdad. Vale, esto ya lo hemos visto. O sea, este comentario. Entonces, sin más, vamos allá a la cabaña.
A warning before you go any. She will
Sí.
lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Vale.
Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a fight.
Are you sure about that?
The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable advice. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Ever.
Me ha quedado clarísimo.
Crystal, let's just get on with it already.
Venga, perfecto. Vamos a la cabaña. Perfecto,
The
clarinete.
cabin is tighter than its exterior would
Ha
suggest.
cambiado, me
Its
gusta.
cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
Me gusta.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
No has dicho nada del espejo. La pared, acercarte al espejo.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
Era
Reach
pared.
forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But there was a mirror a second ago, and now it's gone. So all of us can stop arguing about it and get to fighting.
El testarudo va a dar aquí juego.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door
Todo
to
es
the
distinto,
basement
me
creaks
gusta.
open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and oppressive, with an almost sulphuric odor to it. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
Vale.
Her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
Hace siglos que no libro una buena
This
pelea.
isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening.
Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight.
Vale.
As you descend the
Le ha
final
salido
step,
cola.
the form of the
Y
princess
cuerno.
comes into view.
Oh, qué
A
raro.
large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. Looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us. And you brought your little knife, too. Yes! I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces.
Espero que lo haya oído bien, señor narrador. Esto es muy diferente a la última vez, pero está claro que dicha última vez sí que existió. Esta es distinta, así que me recuerda. La verdad es que he venido a liberarte. No voy a negar que he venido para luchar, pero antes tenemos un par de cosas que hablar. Por ejemplo, ¿cómo es que seguimos vivos? Aún no he decidido qué hacer. No sé qué te ha pasado desde la última vez que nos vimos, pero no pienso luchar contra una demonia gigante. Adiós, darte la vuelta e irte. Vale, vamos a decírselo al narrador.
Oh, that whole deja vu situation. Yes, it does seem like you and the princess remember each other, so let's say for a moment that I do believe you.
Qué mentiroso.
For all we know, whatever happened to you last time was just a fluke, and beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember what happened last time. Are you okay? Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die.
Estás distinta.
You look exactly the same.
Vaya.
Oh, I remember you all right. Best 3 minutes of my life. So, why don't we do it again?
Claro.
See? She wants to fight us again. There's no reason for us to stand around talking.
Free her? You aren't. I don't know why I'm even bothering, to be honest. You know the stakes of the situation.
Who says I want to be free?
¿Ah?
Yeah, I'm fine right where I am.
¿Seguro?
Okay, hold on. Did you hear that? Maybe we don't have to do anything. If she's fine where she is, maybe...
But you're going to have to fight me to the death.
Vaya.
Never mind. There is no happy ending where everyone makes it out of this place alive. You either deal with her here, right now, or she'll eventually find her way out. Whether
Vale.
she even wants to leave is hardly relevant. This cabin won't last forever.
Hear that? Between him and her, that should be all the motivation you need. Now stop standing there and fight her.
I'm fighter.
Stop standing there and slay her. You're being a bit semantic, aren't you? I am, but it's an important distinction. If you're going to see this through, you need to hold the right intent. This isn't a sparring match. It is a lethal confrontation that will decide the future of everything.
Vale.
Fine. As long as it leads to a fight, do whatever he just said.
No voy a negar que he venido para luchar, pero antes tenemos que hablar un par de cosas. Por ejemplo, ¿cómo es que seguimos vivos? Por ejemplo.
What is there to unpack? I was dead and now I'm not, and the same goes for you. There.
Vaya.
Unpack and done.
Buscaba respuestas, pero no me las ha dado.
Don't you get it? We've been given free rein to wail on each other. Forever.
Ah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Aún no he decidido lo que voy a hacer, atacar a la princesa. No sé qué te ha pasado desde la última vez que nos vimos, pero no pienso echar y darte la vuelta e irte. Es que, uff, a lo mejor...
And why not? You decided what to do with me quickly enough last time. Are you scared I'm going to kill you again? Maybe you're worried I'll put you down for good this time. If you want to talk, I guess I can talk. But you should come a little closer first.
Sí, sí. Atacar a la princesa, acercarte... Intentar liberar a la princesa.
I'm sorry, did I hear that right? Did
Sí.
you just say you're going to try and free her?
She doesn't even want to be free.
Exactly. So beyond the apocalyptic moral implications of letting her out, how do we even think that's going to work?
Tienes razón.
I mean, we have a weapon.
Pues...
right? We could always just cut her out, yeah?
Te perdiste que empecé... maté a la princesa, en plan, hablé un poco con ella, la maté en plan a puñetazos tal cual hasta que le asesté el cuchillo. He reaparecido de nuevo, he hecho un par de series de preguntas distintas y la cabaña era como un... O sea, por dentro era como paredes de piedra que se abrían así hacia los lados. Y bueno, y ahora es una demonía gigante. O sea, ya está, estoy ahí. No te has perdido mucho, llevamos 20 minutos, pero no te has perdido mucho.
While she's trying to kill
Ahora estoy intentando decirle que la quiero liberar.
Yeah, why not? And then what? Do you think she'll just follow you out of here? Maybe. I don't know. It's worth a shot, isn't it? No, it's not.
Vamos allá, liberar a la princesa. El narrador tiene razón. Ha sido una idea estúpida. Enfrentémonos a ella, atacar a la princesa. Voy a hacer un guardado. Porque en verdad quiero liberar la vez que ocurre, pero ella me ha dicho que no quiere ser liberada. Y si vemos que pasa algo malo, pues volvemos a cargar y hacemos este de aquí.
Actually, no, you're not.
Jo.
I have a responsibility to the world here, and I'm not just going to let you throw yourself into a scenario where the literal best outcome is the end of everything. Until you come up with any other idea, your body remains standing rigidly in place.
What do you think you're doing? You can't just order our body around like it's some sort of doll.
Watch me. Your left arm lifts towards
Hostia,
the
le está haciendo así.
hand twists into an obscene gesture. See? I can make you do whatever I want.
Toma, toma, toma.
So what? You barely managed to lift our arm.
What are you doing? What is that? Why are you moving so weird?
Es verdad.
The princess, taken aback, flashes her own rude gesture in return.
Toma, toma.
Hey, you, decision maker. I want us to fight her as much as he wants us to kill her, but this is boorish. Just ignore him. If you want to try and free her, I don't think there's much he can do to actually stop you.
Vale. Atacar, 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 atacar. Liberar, atacar, atacar.
You know what? Fine. Blade in hand, you charge forward to try and free the princess from her bindings.
Finally! I have no idea what you were just doing, but I'm glad it's over.
As you slash across her wrist, her elbow comes crashing down on your skull. An unsettling crack echoes in your ears. It's a devastating blow. Your body crumples to the floor, limbs suddenly refusing to respond. This might be it.
That's it, huh? You've gotten really soft.
Everything goes dark, and you die. Really? In just one blow? Yes.
Oh, come on, that's hardly fair. We're not dead. You're just flipping the table over.
It is what it is. You're dead. Finished.
All
Vaya
right,
tela.
fine, this whole thing's a frustrating mess anyways. We're better off with a fresh start. I'll see you two next time.
Vale, capítulo 3. Lo estamos haciendo bien. El ojo de una aguja.
You're on a path in the wood. If you weren't so damn focused
Vaya.
on freeing her, we wouldn't have died back there.
Ya, bueno.
You're strong, but you're bullheaded. This isn't a fight, it's a puzzle. She's stronger than us, but we can use that to our advantage.
Vale, ahora tenemos el escéptico con nosotros.
I hate puzzles.
I've never done a puzzle myself, but anything that doesn't get us beaten to death is good in my book. What do you have in mind?
Same thing as last time, only we'll be smarter about it. We're getting her out of there. After that, we're seeing what happens.
Hostia, cambia la música.
Are you insane? Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? If she gets out of here, that's it. Game over for everyone, yourself included. Are you not challenging us?
¿Cómo escucháis el juego?
Looping.
Y mi voz.
Have you known about it the whole time? Are you the same one we've
Aunque
been
bueno, no
talking
estoy
to
hablando
since
mucho,
the
pero
beginning?
ahora mismo cómo escucháis el juego y la voz a la vez.
Sorry to disappoint what I'm sure must feel like a grand revelation, but that's not what's going on here. We've never met. Enlighten me then.
En tu caso, perfecto, ok.
I have no memory of meeting
irritating you, but you've clearly
Vale.
seen things
Le he
you
bajado
weren't
nada más que 2
supposed to have
puntos
seen.
al juego. En
You'd
vez de
only
estar en
be
menos
saying
6
the things
decibelios,
you've
le
been
baja a menos
saying
8.
if you'd already been here. So where does that leave us? It leaves us exactly where we started, and where I'm sure you've already been before. The princess, left unhindered, will bring about the end of the world. You have to put a stop to her. The only way to do that is to slay her. Screw it. I'm sick of this smug asshole telling us what to do. If you need help busting her out of there, I'm your man. Welcome aboard. And if things go bad once we get her out of the cabin, well, at least you'll be able to get the fight you wanted. The
Vale.
rest of you had better keep those two in check. They're far along the edge of a dangerous path. Don't let them go any further.
No hemos hablado casi lo que ha cambiado este sitio. Yo esto ni siquiera lo llamaría bosque. Es como si la influencia de la princesa se hubiera apoderado del mundo. ¿Y qué pasa si no estoy de acuerdo con el plan? ¿Y si yo prefiero hacer otra cosa? Pase lo que pase ahora, parece que las respuestas que buscamos están en la cabaña. Debería llegar al fin de este asunto. Ir a la cabaña, avanzar en silencio. Estoy harto, me largo. Vale, voy a decir lo primero.
It's evidence of one of many ticking clocks. You can't let her spread any further.
Vale.
But do we know it's her? For all we know, he's in control, pulling the strings to make us too afraid to do anything but slay her. For all we know, it could be us making the changes. Exactly. And at least as things are now, there's no way for us to know. But the world is clearly not as it seems. We can't trust anything until we learn more. If you question reality itself,
Madre mía, la música, tío, es paranoica.
do consider that it probably isn't helpful for anyone to doubt the ground they stand on. It's up to you in the end, isn't it? It'd be best if you bought in, but there's not a whole lot we can do to stop you if you decide
La
to do
música da
something
un
else.
huevazo de miedo, poca cosa.
These are just powerless thoughts and opinions. You don't need to let them drag you and the world to ruin. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up the hill at the cabin. I hope you've given serious thought to your predicament. No last advice for us? No
No,
words of
es verdad.
warning?
Todas estas veces no ha dicho advertencia y ahora
I
como que
gather
se la
you've
pela.
heard it all before. There's no use screaming into the wind.
Ahora parece que acepta que tenemos un bucle.
I don't know. Screaming sounds pretty good right about now. I could use a little catharsis.
Una pequeña catarsis.
There'll be time for that later. For now, you know. what
Suenan
you have to
campanas,
do.
tío.
The interior of the cabin is
Súper
suffocatingly
cambiado
tight,
esto.
more of a glorified tunnel than a building. Its stone walls squeeze against your sides, leaving you no choice but to press forward. The only furniture of note is an iron altar jutting out from the wall.
¿Tiene algo que ver que siempre sea
Pristine
una
blade
hoja
perched on
pristina?
its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right. But there's nowhere to go in here. This is just a hallway with a mirror at the end of it.
No, no hay un espejo.
A mirror? But there isn't a mirror here. There's the iron altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. Does he really not see it?
No, no lo ve.
Maybe what we see as a mirror, he sees as a door. It is a door. And before you ask, no, it's not a mirror-shaped door. The object at the end of this room is both door-shaped and a door. There shouldn't be any room for misinterpretation.
Cada uno escucha, o sea, cada uno ve lo que quiere.
Who cares what it is? It's in our way, we should smash it. Take it.
Take it.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. Wouldn't want to be pushed around without a way to push back. She likes when we can push back, doesn't she? You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it, as if you don't see it. You're rather committed to the bit, aren't you? This really is just
Ah,
like last
he
time.
pasado la esta.
Can you really not see the mirror? Or is pretending it doesn't exist another one of your... There isn't a mirror. Is it a rule to say that there isn't a mirror when there's clearly one right there? Because if it is, it's not a very good one.
I'm inclined to agree, but we don't know how things work.
Me encanta cómo se pelean entre todos, todas las voces.
Just smash it already.
You bring your fist crashing down against the door leading to the basement. It swings open, scraping against the floor as it reveals the dim path ahead. Why am I not surprised?
It was in our way, and now it's not. That's all that matters.
Exacto. Eso es lo único que importa.
Before you is what may as well be a sheer cliff face. There are enough footholds that you'll be able to clamber your way to the bottom.
Hostia, ya no son escaleras, ahora es hacer aquí descender por piedras.
The air hissing up from below is warm and wet, like the breath of an enemy locked in close quarters. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, bold and fierce and impatient, echoes from the chamber below.
Do you have more fight in you than last time? That was such a disappointing show. I know you can do better than that.
She hasn't changed as much as she did the time before. She still wants a fight, which means we still know her. We can use that to our advantage.
Perfecto. Si quieres pelear, ¿por qué no vienes a por ella? ¿Estás segura de que todavía quieres pelear? Bajar hasta el sótano.
You've nowhere to go but down. You start the difficult journey, gripping the stone, lowering yourself foot by grueling foot. But soon, there is solid ground beneath you.
Perfecto.
We best remember how to get back up. The last thing we want is to be stuck between a wall and a raging devil.
Sí.
You turn to face what lies at the end of the narrow tunnel. The princess, imposing and tightly muscled, grins back at you from the darkness. Her face widens into a broad grin.
There you are, knife in hand. How thrilling! Attack me, bleed me, twist the blade in my flesh, break your bones against my body. I want a real challenge this time.
La versión esta de la princesa me da mucho más miedo, es más agresiva.
Have to use ourselves as bait. I really don't like the sound of this.
It's the only way to get us both out. And we need to see what happens when she leaves the cabin.
You know what? I should have tried to intervene earlier because I can't let you do that. I won't.
Tough shit. We're the ones in control here.
Ah,
It's not the.
Yeah, doesn't feel nice to be yanked around against your will, does it?
Well, what are you waiting for? If we're gonna do this right, you can't be scared. You need to want this as much as I do. So go on. Make the first move. Don't keep me waiting.
antes hablemos un poco. Siempre estamos a tiempo de luchar, pero primero, vale. ¿Qué pasó después de que me matara? Aquí abajo no. Si quieres pelear vas a tener que venir a por mí. Si quieres una buena pelea, si de verdad quieres que dé lo mejor de mí, vamos a necesitar un sitio más espacioso. ¿Por qué no quieres ser libre? ¿Por qué insistes en luchar a muerte contra mí en este oscuro sótano? No voy a luchar contra ti, acercarte y detenerte justo fuera del alcance de las cadenas, dar muerte a la princesa. Vale, a ver qué dice esto.
We've talked plenty. I'm sick of talking. I'm sick of waiting.
Vale, señora.
I'm sick of you standing just out of reach and teasing me with a fight you won't let me have. You disappointed me last time, so you don't get to choose what happens next.
Bloody
Oh!
desire in her eyes, the princess rushes forward,
Señora,
drawing
no.
her chains as they bend and snap.
Okay, she's taken the bait. Now let's get out of here. Without hesitation, you turn back the way you came and scramble up the
¿Qué
ledge
pasa,
towards
huevo?
the
¿Qué
tunnel
tal?
entrance. As you near the top, hands desperately clawing at jagged stone, you glance back. The princess is right on your heels. She doesn't bother to scale the wall as you do, instead digging deep into the rock of the cliff face with her fingertips in her rabid pursuit.
Anywhere you go, I will follow.
Sigue, sigue.
We're planning on it.
You reach the ledge and hoist yourself up into the tunnel, the cabin door finally in sight, at once within your grasp and infinitely distant.
What is all of this for? What's the point? You and I are always going to end in violence, so why bother to run? I know what I am. Why can't you be the same?
¿Por qué no puedo ser como tú?
continue to the door. It'd be a real shame if it were stuck. Don't listen to him. Locks are nothing, just barrel through. No!
Liberarla, coño.
Your skin hums tight with adrenaline as you burst through the cabin door and roll onto the grass. You bastard. You glance back at the cabin as the princess, singular in her desire to destroy you, explodes through the doorway. So,
What is this place? Where are we? This doesn't feel right.
En la libertad no lo entiendes, todo lo que conocías allá abajo era mentira, lo que sea que encontremos aquí fuera será la única verdad y la única forma en que seamos libres. No lo sé, pero esperaba que pudiéramos descubrirlo juntos. ¿Qué quiere decir? ¿Cómo que hay algo que no encaja?
This is just another place. I don't care about places. I only care about you. Is this what you wanted? For me to see this? Fine then. I've seen it. Are you happy? Are you finally going to come back to me? Are we finally going to fight?
She readies her powerful legs to charge you, but then she slumps.
But I don't feel like fighting anymore. I'm cold. It feels like this is where I'm supposed to be, like stepping out of that door was some driving purpose I've long forgotten. But I don't want to be here. I'm so confused. I'm sorry. It's cold.
Vale, se la llevan, perfecto. No tienes oportunidad de contestar, ni nunca la tendrás. Es hora de ir, se lo recuerdo, regreso.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Pues claro que tienes miedo, es el fin para ti, pero no para mí. No va a pasar nada, confía en mí, ya hemos estado aquí, tú siempre te asustas. Te acercas al espejo.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back.
El miedo.
Fear. Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
Las voces parecen pequeñas, distantes, a medida que te acercas. Reina el silencio cuando avanza. Han vuelto a irse. El espejo siempre los echa, pero necesitas ver qué hay en él. ¿Te has deteriorado? ¿What? Una vez más te encuentras en el silencio eterno. ¿Cómo que me he deteriorado? Te encuentras en la cabaña.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
No puede ser una contradicción, las contradicciones no existen. ¿Cómo puedes soportar ser una contradicción? No importa cuántas veces vuelva, uno de nosotros siempre acaba haciendo daño al otro. ¿Eso no te cambia? ¿No te hace ser peor? ¿Qué opinas de este receptáculo? Sigo teniendo intención de matarte en cuanto terminemos con esto. ¿Sabes qué le ocurre a los otros mundos que dejamos atrás? Hostia, tío, aquí hay un montonazo de cosas para decirle.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitude.
Madre mía, ¿qué se piensa que es Sion del Kingdom Hearts o qué?
I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it. As easily as you can stand to be you, you are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit, even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul. It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse?
¿Qué va, hombre? En realidad hace que sienta más empatía por ti. No sé muy bien qué dice eso de mí.
It says that your heart is gentle, that even in the darkness you are guided by compassion. This one remembers a spark lost in time, and she would stop at nothing to reclaim it. She will make for a burning heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally remembered what she thought she'd lost.
Sigo teniendo intención de matarte en cuanto terminemos con esto.
If that remains your choice when all is said and done, then you may try. I will regret destroying you.
Pero vaya,
That is what we come to.
siempre va a tener la tentación de querer matarme esta señora.
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you... Perhaps this will change when our work is done.
¿Ya has pensado en lo que querrás hacer cuando terminemos?
The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves, but none of them rise above their dance to influence me. I yearn for what I have always yearned for, my awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of self-knowledge.
Sigue sin importarte lo que vaya a traer la próxima vez. ¿Cuántos recitales más tengo que traerte?
I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences. You have your responsibilities, and I have mine.
Así que no tienes ninguna preferencia en cuanto a cómo quieres cambiar o crecer.
The tides do not dictate where they are pulled. A river does not dictate its outlets. My gift to you is to let you choose your path, and my task is to contemplate the gifts you bring me. We will know when we near our destination.
Nunca nos lo va a decir cuántos receptáculos necesitamos. Vale, voy a hacer aquí un guardado, supongo. Esto lo tengo para guardar un huevo, ¿no? En plan, página 250 y demás, ¿verdad?
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Y muere. Ah, shit. Llévale el ojo de la aguja a ella.
In the woods. And at the end of that
Venga, sí, esto ya lo hemos hecho. Avanzar a la cabaña en silencio. ¿O no? Darme la vuelta e irme. Seguir avanzando en silencio por el camino que se aleja de la cabaña.
fine. I suppose you just
Esto
quietly continue down the good.
también lo hemos
What
hecho.
we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange. It looks like this path
What?
also leads to the cabin. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't...
Que me da igual, no pienso matar a una princesa, pues vale, igual sería mejor que murieran todos. Eso es lo que se merecen por dejarme tirado en el bosque y pedirme que mate a alguien por ello.
Your silence is deafening. But fine. You turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the
Joder.
princess.
No me puedo oponer, ¿verdad? Tengo que ir a la cabaña, ¿no? Pues nada. Ah, sí, pues me da que voy a oponerme a andar en la dirección opuesta otra vez. De hecho, pienso recorrerme el bosque entero si hace falta encontrar una salida.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen.
¿La cabaña está aquí?
At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of
Uy, la música.
familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light.
¿Qué
In
cojones?
every
What the
direction,
fuck?
there is a path
¿Por qué hay
and a
cabañas?
cabin. And not just any
250 cabañas. What the fuck?
an infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Wait, what's going on?
But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever
Macho,
you
tío,
can
what
to
the
shirk
fuck?
your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
La extraña.
You're on a path.
Esto
in
ya
the
lo hemos
woods,
escuchado, ¿eh?
and at the end of that
No me deja
path
pasarlo, algo
is a
cambia.
cabin.
Aquí hay algo, estos son
And in
muros.
the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Creo que estoy teniendo un déjà vu. Un momento, esto no había pasado ya. Vale, no. Estás de broma, la última vez destruí el mundo, ¿verdad? ¿Qué cojones es la princesa? Serás desgraciado, esta vez no te lo perdono, ya me conozco tus trucos. La última vez no estaba aquí en Hostia, estos muros. Sí, claro, ahora mismo voy a la cabaña donde sin duda alguna voy a dar muerte a la princesa. Que sí, que ya lo pillo. Hostia, tío. Si no puedo escapar de la cabaña, me voy a quedar aquí en el bosque para siempre. Buah, 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 buah. Vale, a ver. Podemos decir para siempre, pero es que a lo mejor... Hostia, es que, tío, de verdad.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows
Hostia,
the
es que
way.
ahora mismo estoy un poco...
He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin.
Estoy un
but
poco perdida,
there's plenty of
sinceramente.
other ways we can ruin his day. If by ruining my day you mean ruining everyone's day forever,
Estoy
then
un
yes,
poco...
I suppose there
Uf.
are plenty of ways you can pull that.
Porque no sé qué decisión
The world
tomar.
really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful.
O sea, es que no sé
For all
si
we know,
quedarme en el
it
bosque, ir a la cabaña, no ir a ningún sitio, morir.
The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with
Pero
your
madre
axe.
mía, esto se está poniendo bastante
Little voices to the
interesante,
back of your mind.
sinceramente.
Stay focused on the task ahead.
Sí, claro, ahora mismo voy a la cabaña donde sin duda alguna voy a dar muerte a la princesa, avanzar hacia... Es que, claro, es que si muero, ¿qué pasará? ¿Avanzaré de capítulo? Si voy, es que, guau. Es que son muchas cosas. No sé. No sé qué hacer, sinceramente.
You have already committed
Ooh.
to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
Oh my god.
A warning.
Hacho, tío, estamos en Sigansina, 100%.
She will lie, she will cheat.
Va a venir
she will
ahora
do
aquí un
everything
titán
in her
colosal de
power
esto
to
y nos va a
stop you from
reventar.
slaying her.
Va a reventar
Believe
todos
a
los
word
muros
she
y todo.
says. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind. The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space.
Hacho, tío, qué cosa
Some
más rara.
shifted, an inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table,
Siempre la misma hoja.
the blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway? No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? Well, I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that. And when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves?
Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm.
How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us.
Qué guapo, tío.
I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind.
Esto es verdad, tenía que estar así, ¿no? Muy claro. Y yo lo tengo así.
Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird.
What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task. You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Okay, fine, you took the knife, but you really shouldn't hold it like that. Then how are we supposed to hold it? The other way, thumb at the bottom. Will look much cooler and more serious if we hold it with our thumb at the bottom. It really doesn't matter how you hold the blade, as long as you have it. Just
Seguir agarrando. Coge la hoja del revés.
you switch your grip on the blade. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Yes! Isn't this so much better?
Sí, más chulo.
Okay, fine. You're right. This does look a lot better. It really doesn't matter. Just get on
Todas las
with it
veces
with the princess.
que ha salido un espejo, lo he acabado mirando. ¿Y si por un momento no vamos a acercarnos al espejo y vamos directamente al sótano? ¿Qué pasará? Tirar la hoja por la ventana. ¡Fla! A la verga. O entramos al sótano. Buah, tío, es que... todo duele, todo duele. ¿Qué podemos hacer? Entra al sótano. Fuck it.
The door to the basement
What?
opens, revealing a web of
Hostia
branching
puta.
staircases all built from unidentifiable materials.
Pero tío...
Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the
Madre
stairs
mía, el
even
sótano
go,
es súper distinto.
let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you.
Oh, don't be such a baby.
I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die.
But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure.
And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success?
There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Ir por la escalera abrupta de la izquierda, ir por la escalera del centro, ir por la escalera suave a la derecha. ¿Qué tendrá que ver una cosa con la otra, tío? ¿Qué tendrá que ver una cosa con la otra? A ver, darme un segundo. A ver, abrupta de la izquierda, por la escalera del centro o suave de la derecha. Yo creo que todos los caminos llevan a Roma y que da igual el que elijamos.
You step to the right. The path feels soft and reassuring against your feet. The stairs almost seem to cradle you as you make your way down, like they're guiding your heels from one step directly to the next. You barely have to extend any effort to descend, the stairway doing most of the work for you. You don't feel like there's any concern that you might slip or tumble or lose your way. But the further you go, the deeper you sink in. First, it's like a lovely plush carpet, your toes digging down and barely hitting any resistance at all. But soon enough, you're fighting just to keep your knees from sinking out of sight.
¿Son muelas? ¿O qué son?
The softness threatens to swallow you whole.
Ojo, ¿qué coño son? No son muelas, son almohadas. ¿Qué coño son?
False ethereal bliss, pretending to save you from the cruelties of choice and consequence. It's slow going, but you manage to fight against the overwhelming urge to fall back into comfort and nothingness, the very struggle to continue forward consuming your every thought. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten.
What the fuck? Me estoy liando. What the fuck?
Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you okay?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways.
La música ha cambiado.
The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
Lo siento, no me había dado cuenta de que estaba aquí. ¿Cómo te llamas? Bajar hasta aquí ha sido raro, como si hubiese partido y vuelto a juntar. Como si me hubiesen partido y vuelto a juntar. ¿Tienes idea de lo que me ha pasado? Imagino que si estás aquí encerrada es por algo, ¿sabes por qué? Al parecer eres una amenaza para el mundo. Me han enviado a darte muerte.
That's okay. Sometimes I forget where I am too.
The shadows recede, revealing the princess's face. She's so warm and friendly. It's deception. Don't buy into it.
I'm tired of waiting for an answer.
¿Qué cojones? What the fuck, tío? Aquí tiene otra expresión.
As the princess speaks again,
Hostia.
it's almost as if she fractures. Where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. but I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't
Tengo
it?
miedo.
Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here, and you need to do it now. Ooh, new plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
You can call me Princess, if you'd like. You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really. Do you need help? Not that there's much I can do chained up like this, but I'm the only one down here. So if you need anything, I'll do my best. There must be something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment ago.
She fractures again.
I don't like where this is going.
Va diciendo frases por lo visto de cosas que ya no ha dicho antes.
Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start? You would always start by stabbing her. Which her? Any of them. I don't know about you, but I'm sure glad we took that knife with us. I can't believe someone suggested you toss it out the window. Can you imagine?
I don't think we're going to be able to put her back.
Kinda hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her. It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
I don't know what happened to you, but you look like you're in one piece now. But I understand. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in. I don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you?
Hostia puta.
You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here?
Imagino que si está aquí encerrada es por algo, ¿sabes por qué?
I don't know why I'm here, but there has to be a reason, right? You don't just lock a princess away in a place like this without a reason. I wish I knew what it was. But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen. Or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already. One way or another, just do it. Oh, don't be coy. We both know why I'm locked away here. I'm a monster, and the second I get out of this place, I'm going to end the entire world.
This is reaching its breaking point. If you don't act now, there will be nothing in here but her. Take a deep breath and focus up. But how do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right choice when all of them are so different?
Tengo miedo.
Stop overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gotten out of hand. If you're trying to do the right thing, there's only ever been the one option, and that option is slaying her. Just do something. Do anything. Do all of it, if that's what you want. This place is hell, and it's only getting worse.
Voy a sacarte de aquí, intentar liberarla. No sé qué eres, pero no puedo fiarme de ti. Aquí no me puedo fiar de nada. Dejarla en el sótano, dar muerte a la princesa. Es todo uno.
Wait, that's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. All at once you charge forward, knife aiming to slay the princess just as you strike at her bindings and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... we can't... Do you not have anything?
Dios mío, qué locura, ¿qué está pasando? O sea, ¿qué cojones?
No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating.
Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all
Se deja de escuchar al narrador.
falls apart.
I think he's gone.
We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and others, they just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable.
¿Qué cojones es esto?
Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this.
How surprisingly sincere.
I didn't actually think our actions had consequences.
It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
¿Qué cojones?
Please.
Todo va a salir bien, voy a hacer todo lo que pueda. No tengo claro que se te pueda arreglar. No, acabas de destruirlo todo. No voy a arreglarte. ¿Qué cojones, tío? ¿Qué está pasando? Cuando todo es posible, nada lo es. Pero nunca sabrás si has oído tu respuesta. He desaparecido. Los recuerdos regresan.
Where did she go? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
Pues claro que tienes miedo. Es el fin para ti, pero no para mí. No va a pasar nada. Confía en mí. Ya hemos estado aquí. Tú siempre te asustas.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing.
No es el fin. Lo que sea que haya al otro lado será agradable. Para ti es el fin, pero para mí no. Nos vemos al otro lado. Todo va a salir bien.
Okay. If you say
Ya,
so.
puta.
You're not messing with us.
No. Right. Te acercas al espejo. Reina el silencio cuando avanzas. Han vuelto a irse. El espejo siempre los echa, pero necesitas ver qué hay en él. Te has desentrañado. What? Una vez más te encuentras en el silencio eterno. Hostia, tío, esto es tan raro. Te encuentras en la cabaña.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
Hay árboles y hay estrellas. También hay gente, creo. Al menos se supone que debería haber gente. ¿Crees que hay algo de lo que hay ahí fuera es real? ¿Crees que somos nosotros reales? Hostia, vamos a decirlo todo.
Rhetorical. I am not rhetorical. I have only known these spaces, and I have known flickers of the lives you've brought me, short and violent and full of passion. But all of those flickers end where the long quiet begins. I'm asking you because I cannot know your mind. Do you know what we'll find out there? There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last. We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist. These ones are a contradiction, a winding kaleidoscope of paths and walk. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. They will make for a rich and vibrant heart. Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
¿Sabes qué pasará cuando llegue tu despertar?
No, the point of awakening
Ah.
is to find out.
Cuando me mandas de vuelta no estoy solo, hay voces que me hablan, alguna de ellas soy yo, pero hay una que no, la llamo el narrador y quiere que te mate. ¿Tienes tú un narrador? ¿Tenía uno los receptáculos?
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
Sí, no sé por qué, pero sé que es un hecho. Sí, no sé qué haré cuando lo encuentre. Sí, cuando lo encuentre, los dos por fin obtendremos respuestas.
I am on the cusp of my awakening. Perhaps you are on the cusp of yours. 1.
Un receptáculo.
Whatever you bring
Me
me
traiga el
next
que me
will be
traiga la
enough.
próxima vez será
And then
suficiente.
gravity
Luego
will
la
convey
gravedad
others back
traerá
to
el
me.
resto hacia mí.
I
Será
will be singing.
extraordinario. La multitud
A
final.
final multitude.
¿Qué? ¿Y si esta es la última vez? ¿Hay algo en concreto que quieras que te traiga?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn. You've already
He
tried
intentado
waiting,
esperar, pero entiendo
but
que
I
necesito más
understand
tiempo.
if you need more time. I'll wait with you.
No es posible esperar para siempre. Estoy lista para regresar.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Dios, tío, esto está siendo tan... ¡Buah! El héroe y la princesa. Llévale la extraña a ella.
You're on a path in the wood.
Vale, esto podemos saltarlo, así que como nos lo vamos a saltar, avanzamos en silencio.
You make your way.
¿Sí? Nos va a decir el mismo diálogo siempre, o sea que se puede saltar, no pasa absolutamente nada.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement.
Coger
You
la
take the
hoja,
blade from-
entramos al sótano,
The door to the basement creaks.
vale, seguir bajando las
You're still
escaleras,
listening to reason.
ahí la
She's
vemos.
focused on the task.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
¿Qué va? Para
Then
nada.
drop the knife.
We should. It'll go. Don't you?
Pues suelta. No.
You ignore the trembling in your hand.
You poor thing.
You step forward.
I'm probably chained up in this. So, you should just drop it.
Vale, esto es lo mismo de antes.
If you hesitate,
Entonces,
you go into this expecting to die, you're going to die.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
no.
Then I'm not talking to you.
You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle. She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow. We shouldn't have hesitated. But she doesn't stop there.
Vale, esto no me lo había hecho
She
antes,
kicks you a few
así que
times
bien.
for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down. As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The Tower, la torre.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me.
What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her.
Mira, ahora sale el derrotado también.
She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
Of course we died. We couldn't land a single blow on her, and she broke every bone in our body before she decided to let us die.
What were we supposed to do to stop her then? What are we supposed to do to stop her now?
It's pointless.
She's just a princess. Slaying her shouldn't have been difficult, but congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right.
And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything?
If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. The princess killed us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would?
If she ended the entire world, why should we even bother? We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains and let her do whatever she wants. It's all the same in the end.
Just because she's capable of ending the world doesn't mean you're not capable of slaying her. Both of those things can be true at the same time. So chin up. I believe in you. Just be quick about it.
La última vez me mató, como he visto que vuelvo a ocurrir lo mismo.
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world. She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you.
We're not. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending that we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us.
Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge?
I'm not being a pessimist.
Le está siendo realista. Ay, que es verdad.
You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning. She will lie. She
Esto
caught
ya lo
us off guard
sabemos.
last time. We'll be fine. At least one of you still has a shred of sense. Just make sure you listen to him and not that whiner.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here.
The interior of the
Buah.
cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior
Wow.
would suggest.
Qué
The only
cambio.
furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small?
Ya ves.
We don't feel small. We are small. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. You
Vale,
reach forward
vale.
and we should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
Cogemos la
Take the
hoja.
blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Y entramos. Hostia, chaval. ¿Va a ser un dragón la señora o
The
qué?
door to the basement creaks open.
Es la primera
revealing
vez que
a
veo
spiral
escaleras de
staircase,
caracol, así que genial.
steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. This is actually kind of nice. It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding
Yeah.
when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
Vamos a seguir bajando
Making
escalera.
your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you,
Dios
almost
santo,
glowing in the
enorme.
weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
As if on command, the blade slips from your grasp.
Le daba que cogerla con más fuerza, ¿por qué la suelto?
But we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us?
Ah, me lo está aplicando, qué susto.
I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade.
Mentira.
Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel. Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Hostia,
Legs buckle, and your knees hit
me ha
the floor.
obligado, literal.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you couldn't even scratch me. And yet here you are again, trying to succeed where you've already catastrophically failed. What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death? Speak.
The last time we met? I suppose that lends credence to our conversation in the woods. Still, whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here. You weak-willed buffoon.
Is that so?
The princess closes her eyes in contemplation.
Something about that thought wraps itself around my heart. It feels like a fundamental truth to my being that I'd somehow forgotten. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
She's inevitable. There's nothing else for us to do but help her. Maybe she'll be nice to us.
¿Qué quieres que haga? ¿Qué tienes pensado? ¿Qué se suponga que va a destruir el mundo? No quiere decir que tengas que hacerlo. Eres libre de ser quien tú quieras ser. Quiero preguntarte un par de cosas antes de decidir qué hacer.
All you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
Si tan poderosa eres, no puedes romper tú la cadena.
Don't be rude. Of course she can.
Es verdad.
It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world.
That's exactly why it's rude. We should know our place.
I can, easily. But that isn't what I want to do. The story of a terrible and bountiful God unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am, or everything I'm bound to become. The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity. The song of you, being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that and from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn. Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle against me, my will triumphs over yours.
Vale, le vamos a decir que queremos preguntarle un par de cosas. Bueno, no, vamos a decirle esto primero.
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart. Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
Tus deseos son órdenes. Tus deseos son órdenes, someterte a ella. Supongo que sea lo más... automático. Página 2. Supongo que debamos de hacer eso, en verdad.
Your will was so easily broken. Am I that magnificent? All you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No, you can't just give in to her. Not when the stakes are so high. Not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong. Trying to conceal you from me. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine. Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? All we have is a blade. All you need to do is believe it's been done.
Pero, ¿y si no creo que ocurre entonces? Debo hacerlo, lo siento, pero se acabó. Romper la cadena.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave.
Jura lealtad a tu superior. Pero no la coges de la mano, ni nunca la cogerás. Es hora de irse, los recuerdos regresan.
Where did she go? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Pues claro que tienes miedo, es el fin para ti, pero no para mí. Antes hemos dicho esta.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now. This is what we all deserve, isn't it?
Hostia puta. Reina el silencio cuando avanza. Han vuelto a irse, el espejo siempre lo echa, pero necesita ver qué hay en él. No eres absolutamente nada. Pero es imposible, no puedes ser nada. Centras la vista y la ves. Una figura, débil y envuelta en sombras, más allá del reflejo. ¿Eres yo?
I think you know what I am.
Creo que sabes lo que soy. Una grieta se abre en el centro del espejo y divide la imagen del cristal en dos. Y entonces se rompe un poco más y más y más hasta que el espejo se convierte en trozos irregulares de cristal roto. Era un puto cuervo, colega. Sí que eres el narrador. Me preguntaba si te vería alguna vez.
The narrator, yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
Hostia puta. ¿Qué eres? ¿Te pareces a mí en algo?
Oh, I'm nothing like you. I'm an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
Muchos como tú ya habían dicho algo así antes. ¿De verdad cada narrador era diferente?
Of course. That is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world.
Hostia puta, ¿eh?
But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
¿Tienes algo que decir para defenderte? ¿Para justificar toda esta arrogancia? Después de todo lo que nos has hecho, ¿crees que alguien merece vivir? Tengo muchísimas preguntas que hacerte.
Then ask them, and make it quick. I won't last for long now that you can see me.
Hostia. Lo siento, yo no quiero destruirte. Si hay algo similar para otro lado, dejo de hacer preguntas. Cada vez que te pregunto algo, parece que se rompe un pedazo de ti. ¿Eres parte de mí o eres otra cosa? Así que eres consciente del bucle. Muchas de las veces que nos encontrábamos negaste incluso que...
Any other version of me you talked to was just that, a version of me. It wasn't me. As to why they lied, perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. And for all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me, I can tell you for a fact that I'm right.
A ver. ¿Y cuál es mi verdadera identidad? La gente fuera de los muros del constructo saben esto. ¿Son conscientes de lo que quieres que le haga? ¿Qué es la princesa? ¿También la creaste tú?
You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
¿Qué más da morir? Yo me he muerto muchas veces. ¿Cómo se supone que voy a librar al mundo de la muerte?
By slaying the princess. Once she's gone, everyone will get to exist exactly as they are. No more fear, no more howling chaos, just life. Forever.
Me cago en la leche. En realidad estoy bastante seguro de que la muerte es buena, importante incluso. ¿Por qué quieres librar al mundo de la muerte?
If you need to ask that question, there's nothing I can say to move you. You haven't died. You cannot die. So you cannot grasp the abject horror of dying.
Su puta madre. La gente fuera de los muros. ¿Qué es la princesa? También la creaste
She
tú.
is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can.
¿Qué coño?
So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. Seems that every me you met did a real shit job of it, though.
Si nos has creado tú, quiero que sepas que ha sido una tortura.
Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing. But the bones of the universe are old. It's on the cusp of its dying breath, and the people out there are consumed with thoughts of oblivion. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them? All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end.
Quédate sin preguntas. Creo que se te ha acabado el tiempo, no le voy a dar muerte y quiero que lo sepas antes de que te mueras para siempre. Quédate tranquilo, la voy a destruir. Quédate tranquilo, la voy a destruir.
Are you lying? I can't tell. But I've said my piece, and my time's up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo, and echoes always fade away. You know what you have to do.
Cuando el último fragmento del cristal se rompe, te ves a ti mismo con una nueva claridad. El narrador tenía razón. Eres el silencio eterno, un dios inmenso y creciente. Y ha llegado la hora de que despiertes. Todo esto eres tú. Ir a la cabaña una última vez. Cuando llegas al final de todo, no hay ningún receptáculo final que contemplar. No hay absolutamente nada. ¿Cuándo guardo?
I can finally.
¿Guardo ahora? Por fin puedo verte y por fin tú puedes verme a mí.
It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
Yo también te echo de menos, sabes de la existencia del eco, soy de nuestra conversación. Yo soy el silencio eterno, pero la verdad es que no sé qué significa realmente.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am. Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind. Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echoes spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
Hay tantas historias que hemos dejado incompletas, ¿de verdad podemos irnos sin más? Y tú no tienes voz ni voto en todo este asunto, ¿por qué depende todo de mí? Vamos a hablarlo, aún tengo muchas preguntas para las que necesito respuestas antes de tomar una decisión. Si te dejo salir, todo un mundo llegará a su fin, no puedo hacerlo. Si ibas a convertirte en esto desde el principio, ¿para qué he hecho yo nada? ¿Acaso importaba qué camino escogieras si todos iban a llamarnos a este mismo momento? Buah. Un momento.
Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end, pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us. Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict. My very nature is paradox, as is yours. You cannot use words to grasp at things that are beyond their reach, and you cannot rationalize that which defies logic. But violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it. You are nothing, a black hole of self-loathing fed by the matter of your restless thoughts. A dog blind to its leash. But there is no light without the dark. When I proclaimed my godhood and offered you a place at my side, you gladly became the instrument of my new creation. Only with both of us is there a future to look towards. It is hope that carves meaning into being.
Responder a la intervención del receptáculo directamente, apelar a vuestra humanidad compartida, habla de la vida y la muerte, del cambio y del estancamiento, pero este asunto no tiene nada que ver con todo eso. Rechazar su autoridad, no has hecho más que tratar de darme lecciones desde el primer momento, defender tu independencia. Te comportas como si el mundo no pudiera existir sin ti, pero yo he existido sin ti. Rechazar su perspectiva, no quiero tener nada que ver con la violencia. Permanecer en silencio, what the fuck.
Oh, is it not? Perhaps you can enlighten me. My mass is marvelous. There is no beginning, there is no end, and there is no end. There is only the flood of bodies. Only the flood of bodies. You hold every possible sensation at once, and then you hold them all again. Sensation at once, and then you hold them all again. But in the end, you reflected it back at me. For a brief moment, both of us were everything. We can be everything again. We can weave a beautiful and endless song.
He visto cada versión de nosotros en cada realidad y en algunas de ellas exhalaste tu último aliento. Aún así sigue adelante. El mundo no te necesita. Este asunto siempre ha tratado únicamente sobre nosotros. Dos personas que se ven obligadas a hacerse daño una y otra vez. Pero ya no tenemos por qué hacernos daño.
You cling to your notion of pain as suffering. There is beauty in ugliness, and love in conflict. I crush you, I bleed you, I grind you to paste. My scars are a memory of what you used to be to me. I want those feelings. You run and you run far. And the flesh I hurl at you is answered by the empty air of a place I'd never been. Cold and lonely, but also true. I didn't know what to make of my freedom then, but I know what to make of it now. You challenged me, and by challenging me you gave me purpose.
A life without obstacles is no life at all.
Seguir apelando a vuestra humanidad compartida. Puede haber amor y conflicto y belleza y fealdad entre nosotros sin tener que involucrar a la realidad entera.
We are the whole of reality.
Boundless torrent of blades cut you from boundless angles. You are a body. You are gory ribbons. You are a body again. And you feel all of it. On and on it goes until your bodies are not your thoughts are not you. Alive, dead, alive, dead, alive, dead, then alive and dead, alive and dead, all at once.
You learn to put yourself away, and in your stillness you rose above me. You died countless steely deaths, and you lived countless short lives, and yet it is all so far behind you. I pushed you to a greatness you never would have reached without me.
Me elevé muy por encima de ti y sigo haciéndolo. Te voy a destruir ahora igual que te destruí entonces. Responde a la inteligencia del cerebro. Seguir apelando. Nosotros no somos realidad entera. ¿Por qué no ves el del modo que yo aún te veo? Joder, tío. Lo entiendo, no tenemos por qué seguir peleando. Me iré contigo. Es solo que no sé cómo hacerlo. Detener la pelea antes de tiempo y rendirte y permanecer en silencio. ¡Qué pelea! Va. Oh, si no te hubieras llevado ese cuerpo, nos habríamos matado el uno al otro. Éramos autodestructivos. Me sentí muy bien cuando al fin gané, aunque fuera a costa de mi propia vida. Aunque el viaje fuera una agonía, al final hizo que tuviera todo sentido. Guau. Claro. Es que... ¿Qué le dices?
I could ask you the same. There is only room for one of us to be blind here, and I know it to be you. We are each other's mirrors, and are we not divine?
No hagamos una montaña de grano de arena. ¿Puedes volver a bajar mi nivel? ¿Puedes volver conmigo?
Why would I stoop to your level when I'm offering you ascension to mine? It's so peaceful here. Beautiful, eternal, but ever-changing.
Cuando vuestro enfrentamiento pierde intensidad, la princesa se retira temblorosa.
You are unmovable. Is it by the design of our conflict that I cannot win? Or are you just that fervent in how you cling to delusion? Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
Es fácil creer lo mismo que tú cuando puedes verlo todo tranquilamente desde arriba. ¿Qué crees que pasaría si nos fuéramos de aquí? Vale, estoy listo para irme, pero ¿cómo nos marchamos? Yo no he querido luchar contra ti en ningún momento, pero ¿cómo nos marchamos? No puedo permitirlo, no puedo dejar que todo muera. ¿Dar muerte a la princesa? Debo luchar por un mundo mejor, lo siento mucho. Dar muerte a la princesa. Eres la viva imagen de la crueldad, así que no puedo permitir que exista. Dar muerte a la princesa. No sé cuál es la respuesta, pero tiene que haber algo más. No puede haber solo esto. No te voy a matar, pero tampoco te voy a liberar. Has hecho todo lo posible para tratar de hacerme entender tu perspectiva, pero no haces más que despreciar la mía. Si tú crees que puedes cambiarme, entonces yo debo poder cambiarte a ti.
What I offer you is not perspective. It is truth.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone. All of them? I assume in the same way that you're all of you.
No tienes ni idea de cuánto me alegro de oírte.
It's good to be here. Seems like you've been doing all right on your own, but she's too many things at once out here. If you want to get through to her, you need some way to get past all that divine confidence. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready?
What?
Then let's go.
Bueno, aquí estamos. Iba a decir que hemos vuelto al punto de partida, pero supongo que es un poco después de eso,
Do
¿no?
you need me to describe things?
No. Sería todo un detalle para los viejos tiempos. Solo estamos nosotros dos, nadie más.
It's just us. I think the rest of them are still out there, jumbled up in the rest of her.
Yeah, it's dead silent in here. Whatever it was that was left of him, I don't think it could handle you waking up to godhood. Pretty sure he got obliterated. Yeah. He really put us through hell, didn't he?
Sí, desde luego. No vamos a decir que nos describa absolutamente nada.
That's probably for the best. It's always seemed to give us more options than
Desde
not.
luego.
The stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice?
Have you figured out what you want to do yet, or are you going to keep trying to find a center that doesn't exist?
It sounded just like that. A little sharp, a little menacing. Only she didn't know us.
Exacto.
And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
Está
And
libre.
there you are, knife in hand. It really brings me back.
Las dos cadenas
Given
están
up on
libres.
talking? Have you finally decided to kill me? You'll have all of eternity to yourself after this. Why don't we chat a little before I go?
Hostia. ¿La mato? ¿O me siento con ella? ¿La mato? ¿O me siento con ella? Sí, voy a guardar, pero ¿la mato? ¿O me siento con ella? Buah. ¿Y si me siento y me mata? ¿Y si la mato y se acaba? Después tendrás toda la eternidad para ti solo. ¿Por qué no charlamos un rato mientras aún estoy aquí? ¿Debería sentarme? ¿Debería matarla? Siempre puedo cargar, ¿no? Pues ya está. Creo que no quiero ser un dios. Eres la misma que eres ahí fuera. Yo no quiero hacerle daño a nadie. Tiene que haber una forma de salir de esta. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? No quiero tener que darte muerte, pero no sé qué otras opciones tenemos.
Honestly, me neither. No. I feel like I'm myself again. Well, I don't want to be at the end of that knife, so how about we figure something out?
Pues sí.
What if we tried doing this forever? I can do whatever you think I can, right? So, make me put it all back. Make me fix the Echo's construct and make me wipe our memories of everything that's happened. Make me send us back to the beginning, before we woke up. Before either of us saw the truth.
Can she really do that? Are you sure that's what you want?
¿Les ayudaría a ellos reiniciarlo todo? A la gente del mundo, si tú sigues existiendo, ¿ellos no seguirán sufriendo y muriendo?
Fixing that is on you, not me. If you want me to help them, you'll have to make me help them.
Yo no quiero olvidarte, al final acabaremos volviendo a encontrarnos aquí. Si estamos hablando de esto ahora mismo, ¿cómo podemos estar seguros de que no lo hemos hecho ya antes? No es justo, yo quiero estar aquí contigo, no quiero volver a estar solo. No tenemos ninguna otra opción. Retiro lo dicho, no quiero nada de esto, no pienso matarte. Es demasiado tarde para volver a serlo de un dios. Vale, pues allá vamos, confía en nosotros, seguir su plan. Vale, vamos a investigar esto.
That's sweet. But unless you do, the whole world ends, right? Not like I care, but it seems important to you. And if we do, nothing is stopping us from making the same choice. We could just keep doing this forever. I don't think that's something we'll ever get to know. But odds are we've probably done it before.
¿Cómo sabes que las cosas no acabarán peor? ¿Qué pasará si cuando yo vuelva aquí soy diferente y quiero hacerte daño? ¿Y si te mato? ¿Y si dejo que esto ya cuánto existe?
Who cares? We've hurt each other plenty and I still like you.
Me sigue apreciando.
And if you're hesitating, then you must still like me too.
Tendríamos que decidir hacerlo todas y cada una de las veces. Para siempre, en algún momento, algo acabará siendo distinto. ¿Y si cambiamos de opinión?
Well, if we change our minds, we change our minds. What matters is that we'll always have a choice. This is just the one we're making now.
Ay. No es justo. Yo quiero estar aquí contigo, no quiero volver a estar solo.
Neither do I. But we won't be alone for long. I'll be right here, waiting for you. You brought that knife down here for a reason. Either you use it to kill me, or I use it to put things back.
Buah. Claro. Vale. O sea, reiniciarlo todo sería que ella me mate a mí y que todo se reinicie. Buah. Dios, tío, es que esto es más difícil de lo que parece. Voy a matarla. Voy a matarla y si no me convence en final, dejo que me mate. Y ya está. De eso se trata.
You and me both. Whatever world you want to build without me, I hope it works out. Despite our differences, I've always loved you, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Parpadea y la princesa desaparece. Lo único que queda de ella es el ligero peso de la melancolía que sientes en el corazón. El acto que dio lugar a tu existencia y la de la princesa fue doloroso, y os dejó a ambos con una parte del otro en vuestro interior. Al destruirla por completo, también has destruido una parte de ti, pero el mundo no ha acabado. Todo continúa.
She's gone. And I don't think she's coming back.
No, no se ha ido. Una pequeña parte de ella sigue con nosotros.
Is that a metaphor, or are you being literal? It doesn't matter, we don't need to linger down here anymore. Let's get going.
Dejas atrás el sótano. Luego las escaleras. Y por último, la mismísima cabaña.
It's quiet here.
El camino y el bosque son un lienzo en blanco, pero queda mucho por ver más allá de este lugar. Los frutos de tu trabajo, un mundo libre de muerte. El cuerpo de una antigua criatura despierta tras su letargo y sientes partes de ti que antes ni siquiera habrías sido capaz de concebir. Todo cuanto hay aquí es parte de ti. Sientes tus alas que abarcan una escala cósmica. pero están encogidas y arrugadas, atadas a un plano finito mediante una tensión angustiante. Sientes el cristal del constructo oprimiéndote, confinándote entre sus lados y ángulos infinitos. Te resistes y tratas de liberarte, pero no cedes.
He's gone, she's gone. No one is left to trap us here but us.
Abrir el corazón y ser testigo de tu nuevo reino. De repente, toda la tensión cede. El cristal se quiebra, eres libre. Ante ti yace la infinita extensión de la realidad absoluta. Una nueva realidad absoluta forjada por tu voluntad y el largo y arduo ciclo de matanzas que te han manchado las manos de sangre incontables veces. Sin embargo, en este nuevo mundo ya no habrá más matanzas.
It's finally over, isn't it? But all of a
El derrotado,
I knew
el testarudo,
you'd see it through. All it takes to be a winner is grit and determination.
We really did,
el ofendido,
didn't we? We're the house now. We get to make the rules. This is
el perseguido,
no more hunting, no more running. Just us and whatever's out there.
Absolute
escéptico,
reality.
por supuesto,
Who would have thought there was really a world outside of us? And who would have thought we'd actually wind up siding with him?
The whispering
el paranoico,
and the bickering. Everything horrible about being alive. Stop.
joder, ahora me está dando todo y me tengo que mutear.
Get used to this.
That wasn't
El
very
apático,
hard
por
at
supuesto, también está aquí. Madre mía, están todos.
all. Speak for yourself.
Well, boys,
El
how does it
oportunista.
feel? We're not just on top of the pecking order, we are the pecking order now. I hope this
El
was all
galán.
worth
Este
it,
sale nada más que una vez.
'cause I'm
En un capítulo
personally
solo.
inconsolable. Lucky for us, you have forever to get over it. Time mends a lot of things. You'll get better.
Here, here, to our vanquished
Me falta la primera voz, que es la del psicópata o el loco este que está grillado de la cabeza.
It's good to be back. Now we just have to figure out what to do with ourselves. Forever. No problem. We can do that, yeah? Yeah. We can do that.
¿Ya está? ¿Estos son mis créditos? Da muerte a la princesa. Nuevo logro. ¿Esto es el final malo? Portabilidad de consola, ojo. ¿What? ¿Es el final malo? Ah, vale, ni malo, ni bueno. Termina el juego. El final bueno no cuenta. Muchas gracias por jugar. Como muestra de gratitud aquí tiene el orden de las pistas de una lista de reproducción solo para ti. H. Y entonces F12. Además, ahora que has completado la historia por primera vez, has desbloqueado la galería. Puedes acceder a ella desde el menú principal y el menú dentro del juego, en la pestaña Recuerdos. Está llena de pistas que te ayudarán a descubrir nuevos receptáculos e interacciones. Disfruta. ¡Oh, my God! Hostia, vale. Ahora voy a hacer una cosa. Voy a irme aquí y voy a dejar que ella me reinicie todo, a ver qué pasa.
Okay. If this is your choice, then I have your back.
A ver qué pasa.
I guess I'll see you on the other side. She takes the blade from our hand, a fondness in her gaze.
Oye, la verdad es que ha sido un juegazo, ¿eh? Uy, te quiero, hazlo, nos vemos pronto, permanecer en silencio. Ella me ha dicho cosas bonitas, vamos a decirle cosas bonitas en plan, te quiero, no te voy a olvidar nunca, ojalá sigamos matándonos, en el fondo me gustaba matarte, cuando me has sacado los pulmones ha sido lo mejor que has hecho en toda tu vida, no sé, cosas de esas, ¿no? Así es como se conquista ahora la gente, ¿no? Los canis lo hacen así, ¿verdad? No sé.
Oh, I love you too.
Pues venga, mátame. What the fuck?
You're on a path. You're here to slay her.
Vale, entonces lo hemos hecho bien. Aunque claro, esto sería... Claro. Esto va a ser, como digo yo ahora, como no han dicho en el final, para buscar otros receptáculos de ella. Y supongo que sea como para hacer platino del juego, el 100%. Vale. Me ha gustado mucho, la verdad. O sea, creo que... O sea, ha sido un juegazo, en verdad, ¿eh? No lo sé, pero siempre he querido salir de aquí contigo. Lo único es que no me gustaba la idea de ser un dios. Quiero que salgamos por la puerta de esta cabaña siendo lo que somos, simplemente tú y yo.
I want that too.
Pues ya está, vámonos.
I think I'm gonna stay right here. Whatever you're doing right now, wherever you're going, it feels like it's for just the two of you.
Te la arreglarás bien solo, gracias por todo. Entonces nos vamos solo la princesa y yo. Marcharte solo con la princesa. Bueno,
Don't mention it. Thanks for making all the hard choices
Hombre.
along the way.
cogidos de la mano, la princesa y tú abandonáis el sótano por última vez. Mientras subís las escaleras, un silencio reconfortante llena el espacio que antes rebosaba de violencia, palabras y pensamientos bulliciosos. Sin embargo, hay cierta energía en el silencio, una especie de electricidad, la expectación ante lo desconocido. En lo alto de la escalera, la princesa se detiene con los ojos clavados en la puerta de la cabaña. Notas cómo le tiembla la mano. Por primera vez en su larga y corta existencia, duda de sí misma. Ya no tiene ningún papel que desempeñar y lo sabe. Aún así, sigue existiendo. A continuación, cruza la habitación en dirección a la puerta tirando de ti emocionada.
This is it. I have no idea what it's gonna be like out there. Not that I'm scared or anything. It's exciting, really. Anything could happen. And if it's bad, then it won't be bad. Not with you.
Te quiero, quien la abre, ¿estás preparada? No sabemos qué nos espera ahí fuera. Nada, nada. Te quiero rajar. Se sonroja.
But I'm trying not to be sappy about it.
Ay, vale, vale.
Made me get all emotional.
Vale, tranquila. Todavía nos mata, ¿eh? Ah, mira, la abrimos juntos. Qué bonito. Pase lo que pase, lo afrontaréis juntos. Buah, macho, me estoy sacando aquí de finales. Ya. Increíble juego. Increíble juego. Increíble juego. Sí, señor. Ha sido un juegazo, o sea, ¡boom! Juegazo. Recomendado 100%. Y seguro que hay muchos más receptáculos que no hemos podido sacar, pero que a lo mejor me busco una guía y me entretengo yo en sacarlos para hacerme el 100% del juego, que no tiene que ser muy difícil, sinceramente. Pero guau, ha sido un juegazo. Y encima de todo es un jueguito corto, que en unas 4 horas te lo puedes pasar del tirón sin problema. Increíble juego. 100% recomendado. Si os ha gustado el vídeo, no olvidéis comentad qué os ha parecido, dadle like, compartirlo con vuestros amigos y en redes sociales y, lo más importante, suscribíos al canal para apoyarme y aparte también no olvidéis seguirme en las redes sociales para saber más información de cuando hago stream, subo vídeos o cualquier otra cosa más. Muchísimas gracias por ver el vídeo y nos vemos en el próximo.